Hi there, welcome to Collins Reading Aloud Project Part 132, another 1,000 words or so. Starting now, in holders, in holding, in holdings, in homogeneities, in homogeneity, in homogeneous, in hoop, in hooped, in hooping, in hoops, inhospitable, inhospitably, in hospitalities, in hospitality, inhuman, inhumane, inhumanely, inhumanities, inhumanity, inhumanly, inhumanness, inhumannesses, inhumate, inhumated, inhumates, inhumating, inhumation, inhumations, inhume, inhumed, inhumour, inhumours, inhumes, inhuming, inia, inimical, inimical, inimicalities, inimicality, inimically, inimicalness, inimicalnesses, inimicitious, inimitabilities, inimitability, inimitable, inimitableness, inimitably, inian, inians, iniquities, iniquitous, iniquitously, iniquitousness, iniquity, inile, iniled, iniles, iniling, initial, initialed, initialer, initialers, initialing, initialization, initializations, initialize, initialized, initializes, initializing, initialism, initialisms, initialization, initializations, initialize, initialized, initializes, initializing, initialed, initialer, initialers, initialing, initially, initialness, initialnesses, initials, initiate, initiated, initiates, initiating, initiation, initiations, initiative, initiatively, initiatives, initiator, initiatories, initiators, initiatory, initiatress, initiatresses, initiatrices, initiatrix, initiatrixes, inject, injectable, injectables, injectant, injectants, injected, injecting, injection, injections, injective, injector, injectors, injects, injellied, injellies, injelly, injellying, injera, injeras, injoint, injointed, injointing, injoints, injudicial, injudicially, injudicious, injudiciously, injudiciousness, injunct, injuncted, injuncting, injunction, injunctions, injunctive, injunctively, injunct, endurable, injure, injured, injurer, injurers, injures, injuries, injuring, injurious, injuriously, injuriousness, injuriousnesses, injury, injustice, injustices, ink, inkberries, inkberry, inkblot, inkblots, inked, inker, inkers, inkholder, inkholders, inkhorn, inkhorns, inkhosy, inkhosies, inkier, inkiest, inkiness, inkinesses, inking, inkjet, inkjets, inkle, inkled, inkles, inkless, inklike, inkling, inklings, inkosy, inkosies, inkpad, inkpads, inkpot, inkpots, inks, inkspot, inkspots, inkstain, inkstains, inkstand, inkstands, inkstone, inkstones, inkwell, inkwells, inkwood, inkwoods, inky, inlace, inlaced, inlaces, inlacing, inlaid, inland, inlander, inlanders, inlands, inlay, inlayer, inlayers, inlaying, inlayings, inlays, inlet, inlets, inletting, inlier, inliers, inlier, inliers, inlock, inlocked, inlocking, inlocks, inly, inlie, inlying, in marriage, in marriages, inmate, inmates, inmesh, enmeshed, enmeshes, inmeshing, immigrant, immigrant, immigrants, inmost, in, inage, images, innards, innate, innately, innateness, innatenesses, innative, innavigable, innavigably, inner, innerly, innermost, innermosts, innerness, innernesses, inners, inner soul, inner souls, inner spring, innervate, innervated, innervates, innervating, innervation, innervations, innerve, innerved, innerves, innerving, innerware, innerwares, inning, innings, inningses, innit, innkeeper, innkeepers, inless, innocence, innocences, innocencies, innocency, innocent, innocenter, innocentest, innocently, innocence, innocuities, innocuity, innocuous, innocuously, innocuousness, innocuousnesses, innominable, innominables, innominate, innovate, innovated, innovates, innovating, innovation, innovational, innovationist, innovationists, innovations, innovative, innovatively, innovativeness, innovator, innovators, innovatory, innoxious, innoxiously, innoxiousness, innoxiousnesses, ins, innuendo, innuendoed, innuendos, innuendoing, innuendos, innumerability, innumerable, innumerableness, innumerably, innumeracies, innumeracy, innumerate, innumerates, innumerous, innutrient, innutrition, innutritions, innutritious, inyard, inyards, inobedience, inobediences, inobedient, inobediently, inobservable, inobservance, inobservances, inobservant, inobservantly, inobservation, inobservations, inobtrusive, inobtrusively, inobtrusiveness, inoccupation, inoccupations, inocular, inoculabilities, inoculability, inoculable, inoculant, inoculants, inoculate, inoculated, inoculates, inoculating, inoculation, inoculations, inoculative, inoculator, inoculators, inoculatory, inoculum, inoculums, inodorous, inodorously, inodorousness, inodorousnesses, inoffensive, inoffensively, inoffensiveness, inefficacious, inefficiously, inefficiousness, inoperabilities, inoperability, inoperable, inoperableness, inoperably, inoperative, inoperativeness, inoperculate, inoperculates, inopinate, inopinate, inopportune, inopportunely, inopportuneness, inopportunities, inopportunity, inorb, inorbed, inorbing, inorbs, inordinates, inordinacies, inordinacy, inordinate, inordinately, inordinateness, inordination, inordinations, inorganic, inorganically, inorganisation, inorganisations, inorganised, inorganisation, inorganisations, inorganised, inornate, inosculate, inosculated, inosculates, inosculating, inosculation, inosculations, inocine, inocines, inocite, inosites, inositol, inositols, inotrope, inotropes, inotropic, inpatient, impatience, inpayment, impayments, inphase, inpour, inpoured, inpouring, inpourings, inpours, input, inputs, inputted, inputter, inputters, inputting, inquilab, inquilabs, inquire, inquired, inquires, inquiring, inquest, inquests, inquiet, inquieted, inquieting, inquietly, inquiets, inquietude, inquietudes, inquiline, inquilines, inquilinic, inquilinics, inquilinism, inquilinisms, inquilinities, inquilinity, inquilinus, inquinate, inquinated, inquinates, inquinating, inquination, inquinations, inquiration, inquirations, inquire, inquired, inquirendo, inquirendos, inquirer, inquirers, inquires, inquiries, inquiring, inquiringly, inquiry, inquisition, inquisitional, inquisitionist, inquisitionists, inquisitions, inquisitive, inquisitively, inquisitiveness, inquisitor, inquisitorial, inquisitorially, inquisitors, inquisitress, inquisitresses, inquisiturient, inquorate, inrow, inroad, inroads, inrun, inruns, inrush, inrushes, inrushing, inrushings, ins, insalivate, insalivated, insalivates, insalivating, insalivation, insalivations, insalubrious, insalubriously, insalubrities, insalubrity, insalutary, insane, insanely, insaneness, insanenesses, insaner, insanest, insanee, insanees, insanitariness, insanitary, insanitation, insanitations, insanities, insanity, insatiabilities, insatiability, insatiable, insatiableness, insatiably, insatiate, insatiately, insatiateness, insatiatenesses, insatieties, insatiety, inscape, inscapes, inscience, insciences, inscient, ensconce, ensconced, ensconces, ensconcing, inscribable, inscribableness, inscribe, inscribed, inscriber, inscribers, inscribes, inscribing, inscription, inscriptional, inscriptions, inscriptive, inscriptively, inscroll, inscrolled, inscrolling, inscrolls, inscrutability, inscrutable, inscrutableness, inscrutably, insculp, insculpt, insculping, insculps, insculpt, insculpture, insculptured, insculptures, insculpturing, inseam, inseamed, inseaming, inseams, insect, insecton, insectaria, insectaries, insectarium, insectariums, insectary, insectian, insecticidal, insecticidally, insecticide, insecticides, insectiform, insectifuge, insectifuges, insectile, insection, insections, insectivore, insectivores, insectivorous, insectologies, insectologist, insectologists, insectology, insects, insecure, insecurely, insecureness, insecurenesses, insecurities, insecurity, inseam, inseamed, inseaming, inseams, inselberg, inselberge, inselbergs, inseminate, inseminated, inseminates, inseminating, insemination, inseminations, inseminator, inseminators, insensate, insensately, insensateness, insensatenesses, insensibilities, insensibility, insensible, insensibleness, insensibly, insensitive, insensitively, insensitiveness, insensitivities, insensitivity, insensuous, insentience, insentiences, insentiencies, insentiency, insentient, inseparability, inseparable, inseparableness, inseparables, inseparably, inseparate, insert, insertable, inserted, inserter, inserters, inserting, insertion, insertional, insertions, inserts, incessorial, inset, insets, insetted, insetter, insetters, insetting, inseparable, inshallah, insheath, 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 insheathed, insheaths, insheathing, insheaths, inshell, inshelled, inshelling, inshells, inshelter, insheltered, insheltering, inshelters, inship, inshipped, inshipping, inships, inshore, enshrine, enshrined, enshrinement, enshrinements, enshrines, enshrining, inside, insider, insiders, insides, insidious, insidiously, insidiousness, insidiousnesses, insight, insightful, insightfully, insights, insign, insignia, insignias, insignificance, insignificances, insignificancy, insignificant, insignificantly, insignificative, insincere, insincerely, insincerities, insincerity, insinu, insinued, insinuing, insinues, insinuate, insinuated, insinuates, insinuating, insinuatingly, insinuation, insinuations, insinuative, insinuator, insinuators, insinuatory, insipid, insipidities, insipidity, insipidly, insipidness, insipidnesses, incipients, incipiences, incipient, incipiently, insist, insisted, insistence, insistences, insistencies, insistency, insistent, insistently, insister, insisters, insisting, insistingly, insists, ensnare, ensnared, ensnarement, ensnarements, ensnarer, ensnarers, ensnares, ensnaring, insobrieties, insobriety, insociabilities, insociability, insociable, insociably, insofar, insulate, insulated, insulates, insulating, insulation, insulations, insole, insolence, insolences, insolent, insolently, insolence, insoles, insolidities, insolidity, insolubilize, insolubilized, insolubilizes, insolubilizing, insolubilities, insolubility, insolubilize, insolubilized, insolubilizes, insolubilizing, insoluble, insolubleness, insolublenesses, insolubles, insolubly, insolvabilities, insolvability, insolvable, insolvably, insolvencies,